Yes, everybody, Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Hammersend is in association with the KUMB.com boys. Check them out. 25 years plus for your news, reviews, and opinions. Now, this morning, me and Anton had a bit of a rant, to be honest, about David Moyes and the fate being sealed as we in terms of Fabrizio Romano's tweet yesterday, immediately after the Chelsea game. Lunchtime, I spoke about Lopetegui, with another tweet by Fabrizio Romano, which has since been corroborated with a number of others, including being on the front page of the BBC Sport website, in Julian Lopetegui agreeing to become the next West Ham head coach. I keep saying the word head coach because that's what it is, not as a manager, as a head coach. And I put on my claret-tinted glasses and looked into it a little bit more, and basically was saying, it's not... underwhelming, yes, but I think there's some benefit. There are some positives, and it's going through some of the positives. He hasn't even sat in the dugout, and a lot of people have already written him off. And that's not like West Ham, boy. We always give someone a chance. So that's what I went through. Talking about particularly his time at Sevilla, talking his time in charge of the Spanish international side. Talking about his time spent several years within the Spanish youth system in terms of managing assistant manager under 17s and then manager of 18s, 19s, 20s, and 21s. And talking about just his general play and how, he's defensively very strong. And that's what we probably need to start off with. Having conceded the same amount of goals as when we went down with Avram Grant. And if we'd conceded 20 goals less this season, we would be well within European spots. That's what's cost us. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a little bit. We've spoken about that. Go back and check all that out. Today is very much a Lopetegui free zone for this show. David Moyes free zone. It's looking at other parts of the club. We'll be talking about the loan roundup. We'll be talking about the West Ham women match yesterday. And also we'll be doing, in essence, what we do on a Monday is we do the Academy show separately. But there wasn't much Academy news. There's going to be quite a few games next week. So we'll be bringing that back. But a bit like when Channel 4 did 8 out of 10 Cats meets Countdown, we're going to do Hadam's Headlines meets the Academy show Fusion. So it's going to be a big chunk about the Academy towards the end. So let's crack into it and let's get talking about the loans and the players out on loan. Obviously, a number of Academy players returned from their loan spells. We'll talk about that in the sort of the Academy show bit. But in essence, a few of our first teamers were still out on loan and played at the weekend. Flynn Downs played the first 68 minutes before being substituted in the Saints' 2-1 away win to dirty Leeds. Now, Flynn is now involved in the playoffs, the Championship playoffs. They'll be playing West Brom. The first match is on Sunday at Hawthorns, and then the returning fixture is next Friday at St Mary's. I'll be on the plane on my holidays then. Hey, cannot wait, particularly with the beautiful bank holiday weather we're having today. Thilo Kehrer, he played the full 90 minutes as left centre-back yet again as Monaco beat Clermont Foot 4-1 in Ligue 1. Monaco are currently second with 2 games left of the season, of winning pretty much a guaranteed Champions League football next year. And you're guaranteed to not see Thilo Kehrer back in a West Ham shirt because by all accounts, he's obligation to buy sort of criteria. KPIs have already been met a few weeks ago. So you're unfortunately probably never seeing a West Ham shirt again. Or fortunately, depends about your opinion about Thilo. Ben Rama's Lyon, they play Lille away tonight. So they're doing very well since the turn of the year, since basically Ben Rama's come in. Not completely all down to Benny, to be honest. They've bought a number of players in January. They basically bought them way out of relegation, to be perfectly frank. Nathan Trott's Vej Blond Kloop, they actually play OB tonight as well in their Group B playoff match in the Danish Superliga. Christian Hegge's Den Bosch, they lost 2-1 at home to FC Eminem. He's busy boy, isn't he? Not only is he rapping, he plays football and he beat Den Bosch. But anyway, with Heggie playing the full 90 minutes, a couple of games left of the season for them in the Dutch second division. In terms of the West Ham women, they had their last home game of the season and played Leicester City, and they drew 1-1. They drew 1-0 in a very hard fought match with Leicester. I mean, we took the lead quite early on, about 13 minutes in. Rico Eric scoring, and then they equalised about 20 minutes after that, and then it was pretty much tick for tat. Not tick, that's the wrong expression for West Ham inside. I do apologise, but it's very much end to end. Really, West Ham absorbing a lot of pressure, and almost sort of defending the point, out. To be fair, I can't do that. I do apologise. Oh dear. They also announced at the game that Mackenzie Arnold, the West Ham goalkeeper, was the Hammers Women Player of the Season. So Hammer of the Year. So congratulations to Mackenzie Arnold. Absolutely a fantastic season. As per you, some great saves as well to deny Leicester a late winner, particularly from a couple of free kicks. I believe their next game is their last game? Might be their last game. I think so. Is against Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on the 18th of May. I can't fortunately go because I'll be on holiday. But it's a 3 p.m. kickoff, and obviously we play Man City away with the men's on the Sunday. Unfortunately, I cannot be attending because I'm on holiday. But I will be watching it with Dave and the Dubai Hammers for sure. But yeah, good. And obviously they've secured their WSL status so they can go again next year and hopefully have a more successful year next year. Let's talk about the academy and talk about the academy in more detail. Now, as we're talking about the loan signings, obviously West Ham, the academy had a number of loan players out, the likes of Freddie Potts, Gideon Kadoa, Dan Chesters, Kian Forsum. We've got Heggie who's still playing. But the majority, obviously, have finished their loan spells and have come back. We know we know El Potsi is not Danny Potts, Freddie Potts. Freddie Potts is training with the first team, but obviously can't play because he's still technically under loan from Wickham until the end of the season finishes. Similar with Callum Marshall. So obviously Callum Marshall returned from his loan spell at West Brom, but West Brom could well call him back, and particularly as they're still in the obviously Championship playoffs, and may well do that. So he's still very much in that. Yeah, so he can't play in the first team, but can play on the under 21s, and played with Gideon and also with Kian Forson on Friday when West Ham played Blackburn at Rush Green in the PL2 playoff quarter-finals and thumped Blackburn 4-1. To be honest, obviously I was there doing my thing. It was all West Ham. I don't know what the possession stats were, but it was all West Ham. Literally from the kickoff, controlled the whole game. Blackburn had like a purple patch about 10 minutes in the end, grabbed somewhat of a consolation goal, but West Ham were in cruise control. Cruise control the whole game, to be honest. Notable performances, George Earthy back from his first appearance from obviously the Fulham incident, played a hell of a lot of the game. Played the first 80 minutes. Obviously, he was on the bench yesterday at the Chelsea game. He had an exceptional game. Callum Marshall, an exceptional game as well. 2 goals for him. First goal was a bit of a poacher's goal. Second goal showed his class. And if you watch the highlights on the West Ham YouTube, second goal was fantastic. Drilled shot from outside the box, very much back in the goals. Obviously, he was amongst the highest goal scorers in the PL2 regular season, despite being at West Brom for 3 months. That's how many goals he'd scored. Sean Moore, again, showing his versatility, playing in another position, playing sort of left wing. He's played right wing, right back, or right. They play a 3-4-3. the under-21s, and the 18s as well, but scored a great goal. And George Earthy scored on his return to the side. Great team goal. Patrick Kelly, PK, we played fantastic. He's played well this season, PK, as he's an unsung hero of the under-21s, and played really, really well. Minutes also for Erdrich Golombekis, the 16-year-old, who was called up to the 21s. Obviously, there was no 18s game this week, so a lot of the 18s sort of not the good 18, so to speak, but a lot of the 18s who would feature in the first 11 for the under 18s were in the squad for the 21s. Dan Rigg wasn't in the squad. He tends to play when George isn't available, because they're very similar players, to be honest. The under 18s have got 2 games next week, or this week. They've got Crystal Palace tomorrow lunchtime at Crystal Palace's training ground, and then they've got Spurs on the Saturday, which is the last game of the season, which could be a really interesting game based on how the results go. As there's Spurs and West Ham and Arsenal are both riding high in the under 18s table for the PL under 18 league. The under 21s, this was the playoffs. So they have the regular season where we finish second in the PL2, and then we have almost knockout football to determine who wins the tournament. It's really strange. And so, we won comprehensively. Great to see the likes of Michael Forbes as well play. Had a really good game, did Forbesy, back in the starting 11. He's been sort of out for a while. His second sort of consecutive game, which is good. Jacob Knightbridge at the back continues to impress in goal in terms of his distribution. As I said the other day, I watched them train, and they didn't do any shooting practice until about 10 minutes from the end. It was all just ball work for him and the other goalkeepers in the academy. Now West Ham will travel in the next round, in the quarterfinals, to either Sunderland or Wolves, based on their tie, which apparently will be drawn, which I think is this week, is the actual game. But all in all, a great game for the under-21s, and great to see. We looked a lot stronger with all our returning loanees back. Gideon had a good game. And we weren't even fully a full squad, really. We had, I think, Junior Robinson. He wasn't playing. He's one of my picks for next season. He wasn't playing. We were sitting next to me, so clearly he wasn't playing. Ollie Scars wasn't playing. Dan Rigg wasn't in the squad. And still we looked really strong, really, really strong. And maybe we can go a bit further. And I think we got knocked out last year around the quarterfinal stage, despite having a really good PL2 regular season. So, look, we'll see what happens with the boys. And if you get an opportunity to go and see them, please do. They are fantastic. Loads of high energy. And as I said, they were head and shoulders above Blackburn from the kickoff. An absolute incredible, dominating performance, which was great to see. And hopefully the 18s can pick up a couple of wins this week as well. And we'll refer back to that next Monday in the Academy show. But and that's it. As I said, keep an eye on the channel. Any developing news, we'll bring it to you. And obviously, thank you. Don't forget to go and check out kneesupmotherBrown.com. There it is for the latest news, reviews, and opinions. Great fan forum as well. Always good to have a quick look on there if you want a little find out where you can see certain games which aren't on telly. Just saying. And until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, come on you irons.